House Financial Service Committee and bank CEOs is still underway. Just a moment ago, Representative Tlaib grilling them about climate change. Take a listen.
Recently, do you believe that climate change is a serious risk to the financial system, not to mention the planet?
Can you ask that again? I'm sorry.
Do you believe that climate change is a serious risk to the financial system, not only the planet?
Yes.
I would say not directly to the financial system, but I think climate change is real, and we should be taking action immediately to do something about it. And most of that's going to have to be legislation.
If we don't have a planet, we're not going to have a very good financial system. So,
That's right.
Yes.
I agree with my colleagues, and I agree that, and we believe at Bank of America, we take action on it.
I do agree.
I do agree there are knock-on effects to the financial system.
I do agree.
Would you be willing to restrict, limit, or change what your bank finances, if you're found out it is making the climate change worse in our country or in our world? Would you change some of your behavior?
I believe we already have started that.
All of you?
Yeah, we've already started that. We agree it's important. In the meantime, the United States does need energy to eat, drive, get here, heat, ventilate hospitals, and there's a smart way to do this and a not smart way to do this.
Yes.
We believe that, and we already have taken action.
We have taken action.
Yes.
We have and continue to take action.
I'm glad that you're all agreeing. But a report released 2 weeks ago shows that fossil fuel lending and underwriting is dominated by big U.S. banks, 4 of which are sitting right here in front of us. Chase, Wells Fargo, Citi, as well as Bank of America, our top 4 banks in the world financing fossil fuel industry. Mr. Diamond, your bank alone has provided more than $195 billion in fossil fuel lending and underwriting over the past 3 years since signing of the Paris Climate Agreement, making your bank the #1 funder of fossil fuels in the world. Citi, Mr. Corbett, has provided more than $129 billion in fossil fuel funding over the past 3 years, #3 in the world. Mr. Moynihan, Bank of America has provided more than $106 billion fossil fuel funding over the past 3 years, making it #4 in the world. I want folks, don't say that you're committed to clean and sustainable financing because your company's words are not consistent with your actions. I would call this gaslighting. That's kind of what we call it in the neighborhood. But for the sake of this hearing, I'll say that you are greenwashing your own track record in duping the American people into believing that you are helping address climate change. On the record, will any of your banks make a commitment to phase out your investments in fossil fuels and dirty energy and align your investments with the goals of Paris Climate Agreement to help protect our planet and communities I grew up in? That goes to all of you, if you guys can answer that. Mr. Corbett?
We are in the business of supporting fossil fuel companies, many of which are U.S.-based companies. We have put out significant programs. In fact, we've financed $150 billion of clean projects in recent history, and we keep raising the bar on ourselves and continuing to evolve with our companies towards better and cleaner practices.
Mr. Diamond.
So for JP Morgan Chase alone, 2020, we are going to be green. So for those, our data centers, our people, our where we work, et cetera. We also finance something like $200 billion a year green. We have a thorough risk committees that make sure every company we do business with does things right under the law, and we're helping some of these companies make a transition to a greener future. But if you want to fix this problem, you are going to have to do something like a carbon tax / carbon dividend.
We won't one of the institutions you name, but I'm happy to answer the question. I mean, we're obviously the trade-off is finding the balance between a viable economy and reducing fossil fuel at the same time, and replacing with clean energy.